What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to go over a bunch of tips that I would seriously recommend traders who are looking to grow a smaller account, or honestly, even any size account. We're going to go over the tips. I'm going to go into the charts and then dive into the technical analysis and show actual trades that we took in my Discord room, the potential behind the setups, that essentially is going to highlight all the points that I'm going to discuss in detail. All I ask is if you could take 2 seconds, drop a thumbs up on this video, and if you want a very good trading resource, I definitely recommend you to follow my Instagram at InvestaTrade. I post daily trading recaps on here, along with very good trading tips and tricks. The link is in the description below. You're definitely missing out if you aren't following it. Now let's get right into the video. The first tip is if you have under $25,000 and you're subject to the PDT rule, what I would recommend doing is switching to a cash account. If you're looking to trade options, use that cash in your account and you can make unlimited day trades in a single day, in a single week. You are not subject to the PDT rule if you have under 25K with the cash account. So this can make you take multiple different trades in a day as long as you use the cash that's in your account. This is something that I really stress and I really would recommend a lot of small account owners to do. Instead of scanning for the best stocks, the biggest movers, I would recommend focusing on one market or a select few stocks that you can master, that you could understand the personality, and that you're comfortable trading with. You know how it facilitates trade. You know how the auction process works with that stock or with that market, and you seriously master it. The best traders I know, in fact, the trader that I know that makes the most amount of money on Wall Street, trade specifically just the S&P 500 and specifically just oil. Now you only need price and volume no matter what you trade. Small account owners are susceptible to getting sucked in by a bunch of other traders, giving them, different indicators, giving them a holy grail, something that works 100% of the time. If your charts look confusing with 100 different indicators, I can guarantee you it's just confusing you more than benefiting you. The only indicators you need to have on your charts have to do with specifically price and volume. Everything else is noise. When you have a small account, you really need to focus on clarity, and any other indicator will just create that noise in your charting. Now, I also recommend trading SPY and QQQ only, and specifically mastering them. If this is one piece of advice you take out of this video, it would be this. I have a bunch of traders in the Discord that are making consistently 4 figures a day, 3 figures a day, trading exclusively SPY and QQQ because it's something they're comfortable with. They master it and they know that there's going to be a setup pretty much every single day based on their edge. And whenever there's not a clear setup, they know it's a time to sit on their hands, be patient, and wait for the next best setup. So this video is going to be going over trading SPY and QQQ. This is honestly something that I really think a lot of traders should do, whether you're struggling, whether you want to grow a small account into a larger one, and you want to see consistency. I definitely recommend focusing solely on these two names, any S&P 500 related instrument or any QQQ NASDAQ related instrument. They're extremely, extremely liquid. They are the market itself, and it works very well with supply and demand imbalances, which I'm going to show you in a couple of seconds here. Going into the SPY option chain, more reasons why I recommend trading these names is because if you were to look at the options, look how extremely liquid they are. What other option are you going to see that has 200,000 contracts traded in a single day with open interest going as high as, 30,000? They're extremely cheap as well. You can get a at the money contract for 60 cents. So one contract will cost you 60 bucks. One out of the money with a 0.23 delta will cost you 25 cents. So one contract will cost you 25 bucks. And you could buy 10 of these, you could buy 20 of these, and 10 would cost you 600 bucks. And these could go up 100, 200%, even 50% in a 3, 4, 5 minute time period. So not only are the underlying assets extremely liquid, the options are as well. You could see the spread between the bid and the ask is always going to be about a penny. maybe even 2 cents, and you'll have no problem market ordering in. If you're playing a breakout, you'll have no problem putting a limit order or fishing order on the bid to buy for 100 contracts and not get filled. So it's just extremely liquid. It's very fluent with the way it trades. And I love trading the S&P and even the NASDAQ itself. Before we get into the fun stuff and break down the trades with the charts, I just want to say trading is the most scalable business. Whether you trade one contract and it costs you 60 bucks, it's the same thing as buying 10 contracts and it costs you 600, or 1,000 and it costs you 6 grand. The only difference is your perspective on the trade, which will in result affect your emotions. However, you slowly and gradually build upon it and focus on consistent base hits. A lot of traders try to hit home runs. They have $1,000 account and they try to make it 5 grand or 10 grand in a single day period. And in result, they take a big loss. Consistent base hits will add up in the long run. Think about if you had a $1,000 account and you're making 20% that's compounding every single day. You respect your risk, so your losses are to the smallest amount possible. That $1,000, before you know it, could be doubled, could be tripled, could even be tenfold. So focus on the consistent base hits, detach from the money, and focus on the process. The money is the byproduct to trading well, to trading consistently, and focusing on what truly moves the market and leaving your emotions out of it. Here's /ES. This is the S&P 500 future, the E-mini. This is what I chart. Now you can trade the future. However, when I'm ready to buy something based off of this chart, I simply go to the trade tab and trade SPY options directly off of that chart. SPY is essentially the S&P 500. It's going to mimic this to the T. It's identical. To get more context of the setup, let's go over the pre-market plan. I post these every single day in my Discord. We were bouncing off of 4208 demand overnight. We're up 20 points from that area. We were about 5 or so points away from all-time highs. So we were watching for price to potentially slice through supply. And I'm going to play it alongside, targeting an all-time high break at 4238. And I'm going to ride the trend up. Now, if the market pulled back, we had demand around 4220 and 4224 that was validated by that move up at the open. That if buyers defend it when we push down to test it, price could potentially bounce. So I have these levels marked up on my chart, and let's essentially just go through this, and then I'm going to show you the setups backing it. So the market opened up, very strong buying pressure coming through the market. As you noticed, my charts are completely naked. I just read the auction process. I love to read price and volume and determine the volatility backing the instrument. So very strong move up. We sliced through supply like it wasn't there. We broke above all-time highs and we rallied about 11 points from that break. Very strong buying momentum and very strong volume as we moved up. Then the market consolidated. We started selling off and we came into that 4220 demand zone that I mentioned from the pre-market plan. And essentially we had very high volume at the zone and the market continued to bounce. So this was a valid long entry down here, and the market continued to move up, and the area that we sold off of earlier could be a good area that you would look to take profits, as this was a consolidation period. Really not going to call it supply just yet. It was just an area that the market consolidated a little bit and then had to move down. So we bounced at this demand zone, and the idea with supplier demand imbalances is you want to take the market long at a demand imbalance with proper confirmation. So the entry down here was for SPY 423 calls. I'm going to minimize this and show you on the left, my crosshairs are synced up. So these charts are essentially going to be identical. We have the SPY 423 strike calls for tomorrow's expiration, Friday. And these charts, as you could tell, look identical. So as the S&P 500 came into demand, the 423 calls had a low of 65 cents. And by the time SPY made a high around 4244, the high on the 423 calls were around $1.65. So these went up a full dollar in a matter of, we'll call it 2 hours. So from around 65-cent low, you could call that the entry. One thing I do want to suggest and highlight is no one is ever going to catch the low. No one is ever going to catch the high. I'm just illustrating the power of options, the power of supply and demand, and the consistency and to build upon trading SPY and QQQ if you can master it. So the low was 65 cents, the high was $1.65. That's a 153% return. If you go into the trade with 65 bucks, you're coming out with 160. If you go into the trade with 6,500 bucks, you're coming out with 16,500. So a very strong move. It happened pretty fast. The market did move up aggressively right away, and that's kind of something that I want to see at the start of all my trades. Now going back to the first example, we did not have demand. However, from the pre-market plan, we were watching the market to slice through supply. Essentially, supply, you look to take the market short. However, on an auction, this goes with any auction, if buyers are stronger than sellers at an already existing sell imbalance, the market can continue high, and there's no reason to really miss out on a strong move to the upside when there's certain confirming factors and when all the variables kind of align. So the time we did rally, let's play this a little conservatively. Let's say we did play an all-time high break. I'm kind of against playing breakouts. You all know that. However, let's just say we got long at 4240 at the 935 candle. The low from this was on this 423 calls was $1.66, and we went to a high of around $2.22 for 34% in a matter of 4 minutes. So very fast move. SPY exploded. We had volume, and volume will increase the contracts tremendously. And that was a quick 34% move in 4 minutes just from the pre-market plan and from a simple analysis that we sliced through supply and buyers were very strong. For good luck, let's try to get this video to 777 likes. On Wednesday, the pre-market plan, we were watching to see if price could fail at the 4233 supply and fail to break the high at all-time highs. Price will either balance or it will sell off into that 4220 demand zone that buyers must defend, or else we have lower prices to the downside. So the market opened up and we were very balanced. We were consolidating in a tight range. So depending on your edge and depending on your style, on how you like to trade, there are multiple different scenarios throughout the day on how you can trade. However, the one I do want to highlight is once we made a lower high inside of supply, I loaded up on the left the 423 puts for Wednesday's expiration. They had a low over here of about 46 cents. At the time, the S&P was at the 4233 supply zone. And by the time we sold off and broke low a day, these had a high of 98 cents. So if I go over here and pull up my little doc, we had the 423 puts and about 50-cent entry. Like I mentioned, you're not going to ever catch the low. So let's just play conservatively. Let's wait for confirmation and let's call it 50 cents. And we sell at a low at daybreak. And let's just call this about 88 cents at this high over here. So these contracts moved 76%. If you bought one single contract, it cost you 50 bucks. The most you can lose is $50. You're making 38 bucks off of that trade. Your 50 now turned into 88. If you traded with just, let's just say, fix this. Let's just say you traded now with 500 bucks. Now your 500 bucks turned into a $380 profit. Now you have 888 bucks. 5,000 bucks, you buy 100 contracts, which honestly is not that big of a size for SPY. 5,000 now turns into 8,800. It gives you a $3,800 profit. This time period was about a 20-minute trade. It was a very fast mover despite the low volatility or the low volume action on SPY. However, let's just hypothetically speak here just to show you the power of trading these options and really mastering this. I don't know what it is. I've really found the best success coming through with SPY. And I really recommend you new traders or the traders that are struggling, you want to build an account, to really stick to this and master it. Because I think personally, it's one of the easiest markets to master and you could really make crazy gains off of it. So let's just say we were in still those 50-cent contracts. We wanted to stick to the plan and wait for the market to sell off into demand. These eventually went to a high of $1.50. So now we have the 50-cent entry going into end of day to a high of $1.50. These contracts moved up 200%. Now our $50 trade, which the most we can lose is 50, gave us a $100 profit. $5,000 trade now gave us a $10,000 profit. Again, these are just examples saying from low to high, but I just want to illustrate the point of how fast the contracts can move. Now going to a scalper's perspective, every time we do come into supply, we reject, and you could catch micro moves off of SPY. For example, the lows here were about 55 cents, and they went to a high of, let's just call it 98 cents. So almost a 100% return in a matter of 3 minutes. So looking at the bigger picture, these do move. However, the micro picture and fast moves when volatility builds into the market, you could catch, a 60 cent all the way up to 90 cent. So 30 cents on a 60 cent position is 50% in 2, 3, 4 minutes. You could take that all day, take clean trades. They're extremely liquid, and the market respects not only supply and demand well, but I've found this to be the easiest market to read, the easiest market to trade, to understand the participants backing it, understanding the relationship to price and volume, something I stress to investor trade members all the time. And I don't know, something about it, this is my favorite instrument to trade. So if you had to listen to one piece of advice in this video, it would just be to limit your distractions, focus on one market, focus on a select few stocks. You have some traders that focus on just Amazon and Tesla because they move nice. I personally recommend trading SPY and QQQ. It's what I find to be the easiest. It's what I make the most money on. They have expirations on Monday, on Wednesday, and on Friday. So you can pick up cheaper options. And when they move in your direction, that's when you're going to get nice gains. And if they don't move in your direction, you could just stop out and exit for a small loss. As long as you focus on the process, detach from the money, treat trading like a business, and understand if you're looking to grow a small account, consistent base hits will add up. If you swing for a home run every time, eventually you will strike out. Believe me, I've been in this game for almost 6 years now. I've seen it all. For example, this trader had a $2,200 account. He made an $800 profit trading SPY. That's a 37% increase on his account. You have another trader with a $500 account trading SPY and QQQ, made around $145 on that. And this trader, fastest 10 minutes of his life, made nice profit on SPY. So it happens fast. You can make very good gains as long as you manage your risk, treat it like a business, and really focus on the process. Besides that, I'm going to end it here. If you did enjoy the video, smash the thumbs up button for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. Follow me on Instagram. And if you really want to learn more, I offer a very in-depth and educational course in the description below. Comes with access to the Discord, and I will be adding videos to it by the end of this weekend. Prices will never be this low again. So besides that, peace out.